One of my favorite aspects regarding the world of Cyberpunk has to be the setting. Night City gives off a feeling that's hard to come by in many games. I'm able to come home from a long day of work and all the pressures of the world, and I can drive and enjoy a world like no other. From the sunny days to the nights to the thunderstorms to the desert storms, the city gives you a feel of solitude, of disappearing, and enjoying the beauties of it regardless of how truly awful the city can be. Now I know there's many that still believe the game is terrible, not what we were promised, and that the world is empty compared to what we saw in the previews. But listen, what we do have here is a city that can be explored, that is vast in size and futuristic. Of course, much of this depends on what you like and your preferences. I for one have compared Night City and Cyberpunk many times to the Blade Runner film that was released in 1982. Ridley Scott's science fiction film is what made me excited for the potential that Cyberpunk and Night City had, and quite frankly still has. I imagine how it would be living in a world like the one Rick Deckard inhabited, with all its dangers, flying cars, and replicants. It was a movie ahead of its time for the way it was received initially, but the setting and the atmosphere, the feeling the movie gives you, is one that oozes Cyberpunk 2077, especially when you're walking through Night City in the evening with rain pouring and you see all the neon lights and screens filled with some of the most interesting pictures and messages. With Night City, I am able to live and experience another life, a life in the future that is filled with stories and so much lore behind it. It makes it possible to live in a world similar to that of Blade Runner. Would I ever want to actually live there? Probably not, but at least I have that option. Other gaming worlds that I can think of that are similar to Night City is the world that we find in Stray, the cat game that was released last year. That too has a futuristic dystopian feel with many neon lights, and it is done extremely well, but it doesn't have the freedom or the size of a Night City, for example. Ghost Runner is yet another world set in a futuristic dystopian area, but you're boxed into it with levels. Now I know that they are vastly different games, but when you jump into those worlds you may think, wow, this environment is unique and beautifully dark. If given the opportunity, I would explore it more. And the beauty of Night City is that you can. You actually have the freedom to explore almost anything you'd like. I did mention earlier that there's more potential with the world of Cyberpunk, because there is. And Phantom Liberty, the DLC releasing later this year, may just give us more. It's been dubbed a soft reboot of the game, with many aspects of it being changed and new ways of playing being added. I am certain that the world itself will feel more alive, and these changes will help with that. One thing that I know for sure, however, is that Night City, no matter what, is a wonderfully complicated and beautifully built world. It is one of the absolute best I have ever set foot in.